Hey everyone, today we're jumping into a topic that, let's be honest, nobody wants to deal with, but every single one of us needs to understand: water damage. Look, this isn't a sales pitch. This is about arming you with the crucial knowledge you need to take control when things go wrong. So let's get right into it.
So, picture this. You find a little puddle, maybe from a pipe under the sink or an appliance acting up. Your first instinct? Grab a towel, wipe it up, and assume the problem's solved. But what's actually going on inside your walls, under your floors? Is the problem really gone?
You see that number? 48 hours. That is everything. It's the critical window of time, and believe me, that clock starts ticking the very second water shows up where it shouldn't be. Right. In as little as 24 to 48 hours, what started as a simple water issue can mushroom into a serious microbial threat. We're not just talking about saving your drywall anymore, we're talking about protecting the health of everyone in your home. So, you gotta move fast. It's totally non-negotiable. And that brings us right into our first big idea. You have to treat water damage like the emergency it is. This is not a wait-and-see situation. The moment water gets in, that clock is officially and loudly ticking. This quote here really hits the nail on the head. Water is sneaky. It doesn't just sit in a puddle, it travels, soaking into drywall, seeping under flooring, and wicking its way up inside your walls. A problem that starts in one little corner can quickly compromise your entire house if you don't act right away. And where's all this water coming from? Well, ironically, it's often from the systems that are supposed to make our lives easier. You know, a clogged drain line on your AC unit, a busted hose on your washing machine, a failed sump pump during a downpour, or even just heavy rain forcing groundwater right through your foundation. These are risks we all live with every single day. Okay, so you found water. Your heart starts pounding, it's easy to panic, but a clear plan is always going to be your best friend. So let's talk about what you need to do in those first few minutes to really take control of the situation. Think of this as your emergency playbook. Step 1, and this is the most important: safety. Water and electricity are a lethal combination. Go to your breaker box and shut off power to any wet areas immediately. Next, stop the bleeding. If you can, shut off the main water valve to your house. Then, pull out your phone. I'm serious. Take pictures, take videos, document everything. The source, how far the water spread, anything that's damaged. Your insurance company will thank you for it. Get valuables out of harm's way if you can. And finally, make the call to a professional. Please, whatever you do, don't just think it'll dry on its own. It won't. So once you've made that call, the pros take over. And it might look like pure chaos when they arrive, with all this equipment being hauled in, but what you're actually seeing is a very precise, very scientific plan being put into action to bring order back from that chaos. The whole process really boils down to 3 main phases. First up is the emergency response. That's when they assess the damage and, most importantly, extract all of that standing water. Second is the science part, a very controlled process to dry the actual structure of your home. And then finally, the rebuild, which is all about getting your home back to the way it was before the disaster. Now, this is a really important distinction people get confused about all the time: mitigation versus restoration. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Mitigation is the emergency first aid. It's about stopping the bleeding, right? It's extracting water, drawing things out, and preventing the damage from getting any worse. Restoration is the reconstructive surgery. It's the actual rebuilding, replacing drywall, putting in new floors, painting, everything needed to get your home back to its pre-loss condition. Okay, I love this section because this is where the really cool tech comes into play. You know, professional drying is so much more than just aiming a few fans at a wet spot and hoping for the best. It's a legitimate science with industry standards and powerful technology. And it all starts with figuring out exactly what kind of water we're even dealing with. The pros use a classification system from the IICRC, which is kind of the governing body for the industry. And this isn't just industry jargon, it's absolutely critical. The category of the water, basically how dirty it is, determines the entire game plan. It dictates the safety gear, the cleaning protocols, and even what can or cannot be saved. So let's break it down really quick. Category 1 is clean water, like from a broken water supply line. Low risk. Category 2 is what we call gray water. Think discharge from a washing machine or dishwasher. It's got some contaminants in it, so the risk is medium. And then there's Category 3, black water. This is the bad stuff. We're talking sewage or flood water that's come in from outside. It's heavily contaminated and poses a serious health risk. So how do they deal with all this? with some amazing gear. They use thermal cameras that can literally see hidden moisture behind your walls. They have moisture meters that give them exact readings on how saturated everything is. Then come the heavy hitters. Massive commercial dehumidifiers that suck gallons of water out of the air, and high-velocity air movers that create an evaporation vortex. And for that nasty black water, they bring in air scrubbers with HEPA filters to literally pull contaminants out of the air you're breathing.
So, how long does all this take? Well, here's the thing you have to remember. You absolutely cannot rush this process. Just the drying phase alone can take anywhere from 3 to 7 days. Why? Because you're trying to pull moisture out of dense materials like wooden studs and subfloors, and that just takes time. After it's verifiably dry, the rebuild can take another week, maybe 3. If you try to speed this up, you're just asking for a hidden mold problem down the line.
All right, let's move into the home stretch, recovery, and rebuilding. This is all about getting your life back to normal, which means navigating the insurance claim and, maybe most importantly, thinking about how to stop this from ever happening again.
Let's talk insurance for a second. Here's the key takeaway. Your standard homeowner's policy will likely cover damage that is sudden and accidental. A pipe that bursts out of nowhere, you're probably covered. That slow leak under the sink that you kind of ignored for months, yeah, that's probably going to be denied as a maintenance issue. And this is huge. Damage from outside floodwaters is not covered. You need a separate flood policy for that. This is exactly why all those photos and videos you took at the beginning are so critical.
And that brings us full circle, doesn't it? The absolute best defense against water damage is a good offense. We're talking about simple, preventative maintenance that can save you so much heartache. Keep your AC drain line clear. Every now and then, check the supply hoses on your appliances for cracks or bulges. Make sure your gutters are clean and that the ground slopes away from your foundation. And if you want real peace of mind, look into a smart water leak detection system.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. A water disaster is one of the most common threats to our homes, but it's also one of the most preventable. Now that you've seen the process, the science, and what's really at stake, the only question left is your home ready for the unexpected?